Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Another episode going into news and prophecy, where we're linking the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures to show the faithful elect, the remnant, that the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai are faithful and true. All right, in preparation to be exodused out of this new Egypt, Babylon the Great, which is America, as well as the various different captivities where we're scattered. All right, and the prophets have been raised up. All right, and we're singing a new song. All right, which is anti, all right, this new world order being established by the biblical Edomites and the rest of the heathen who are joined unto them. Okay, so of late, what's been under scrutiny, all right, is the World Economic Forum. As you can see, the title of this article I have here, all right, World Economic Forum declares 2023 the year of the poly crisis. Okay, poly means many, okay, which they have many crises, all right, that they're discussing and how they're going to handle it and how moving forth in the future they can save the earth, okay, and create what the world knows as a new world order, a new way, all right, a fourth industrial revolution, all right, where they're going to make and recreate man in their image, okay, and they've already started that process. Now, we did a lesson showing you that Davos itself, all right, which is in Switzerland, all right, the highest point in Europe, all right, as we know, the heathen have always went to the high places in the earth to call on their gods, all right, and work their left hand witchcraft, all right. So a lot of attention has been brought to this meeting, which Davos means son of David, all right, or beloved. You see? So basically these devils are ultimately planning to bring in an anti-Messiah system and set themselves up as the saviors and X out who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. That's what everything that they're doing is about. And they're in a rush, as the scriptures say in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, okay, in 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. And we know prophetically salvation comes through the fall of Babylon the Great and the beast, okay? As the scriptures say, we're going to get victory over the beast, his image, and his mark, okay? Which ultimately, that's what's being implemented into the earth right now, in our day. And the scriptures in Revelation 22 says, seal not the words of the prophecy of this book. So the prophets should be going into these things, all right, forewarning of what's to come. And what's to come is a victory for the elect, all right? And ultimately, you devils, all right, everything's going to what? Fall out of your hands as you're going to lose control. Because you've done a horrible job at ruling this earth. This earth belongs unto who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and we are joint heirs with him. As the scriptures say, the earth was made for our sake. Okay, and we're crying unto the Most High God, Yahweh, to send his only begotten Son and deliver us to take down this wicked system that's being implemented in the earth. The same way he broke up the Tower of Babel, okay, which was a opposition against the Most High, a plan to create a one world order, okay, that was broken up. How much more this one? Okay, but we're living in a time where they now have more power, okay, and they have the earth under their grips, okay. As one of their speakers said, the tyrants of old didn't have the technology we have, okay. So because of what they've been blessed with, they've boasted, okay. They're starting to boast and move closer to that plan to create that one world order and oppose the Most High and X out his Son, okay, and take the truth out of the earth in the spirit of Cain, okay, who slew Abel, who had a righteous sacrifice. They want to take that sacrifice out of the earth, okay, and establish themselves as the immortals via their artificial intelligence. Okay, so now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his anointed. Okay, which we know prophetically Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And to be cast down means what? You've been brought to a low estate. All right, and that starts with the word going out. Okay, your legacy is being tarnished in the earth. Okay, the truth of who you are, what you're all about, is now out there. The truth of who we are is now out there, and that accusation, all right, that you've been able to prosper with in the earth against the true anointed of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the true Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's no longer standing because the Lord has raised up an elect. Okay, and see, the accusation you have against the elect won't stand because we are what? Covered under the blood of Yahweh Shai. You see? So he's accused us before the Most High day in and day out. Okay? He set up a system that causes us to rebel against the Heavenly Father automatically. See? But see, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, which that goes hand in hand. The blood of the Lamb has given us access to have this testimony. And we've been awakened, and we love not our lives unto the death, meaning we understand that this world is filthy. We understand our mission, okay? And we're becoming immortal as we walk through this straight gate unto salvation to be transferred into the marriage, all right, where we be entered into a new covenant, given new bodies, and eventually under who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, we're going to come down onto the earth, okay, and set up the tabernacle of David, which is a righteous government predicated upon the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, and all nations will have to be obedient and bow the knee to the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and the holy people, the true Israelites. Okay? So this is how we overcome. All right? The blood of the Lamb, okay, and the word of our testimony. Okay, the earnest of the Spirit, okay, which we have access, okay, to ultimately know and understand why. See? And to speak it in the earth, to offer up the words of faith. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Okay, the elect. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. All right, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. All right, and when the dragon, okay, the revival of Rome, saw that he was cast out into the earth, because there's a shameful spewing on his glory, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, which is the nation of Israel, the elect. Okay, as Yahweh Shai spring forth out of the tribe of Judah. Okay, this last verse here in this chapter, the red dragon was wroth, angry with the woman, the elect. The nation of Israel is that woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, so they're moving fast, and the scriptures say, woe, all right, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, because this plan, okay, dealing with the World Economic Forum, okay, is going to be predicated upon saving the earth, okay, and planning a new world for the future, which is going to come with some very, very harsh laws and bizarre, far out, okay, left-hand practices to get there. So the World Economic Forum declares 2023 the year of the poly crisis, and they're meeting, all right, in this high place, okay, but it's only so much information, okay, the regular people are allowed to get. It's only so much information news stations are allowed to get. There's a point, okay, where only the elite, okay, can enter into these particular meetings. Okay, we only hear and see a part of it, but we know and understand via prophecy what's going on. All right, as the scripture talks about how they're meeting in secret. So just as we have declared, through the elder apostle Tahar, this to be the year of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua fulfilling these prophecies, they on the left hand have declared the year of the poly crisis, which means many crises. Okay. So it says Davos summit doubles down on ESG policies amid shortages, inflation, and rising dissent. And here it is. They have all of the resources. They have all of the money. Okay. But they're telling you it's a shortage. Okay. They got the gold, the silver. They got everything. All right. Meanwhile, they're telling you it's a shortage and it's too many people on the planet Earth. So for the future, we have to build a new world, the fourth industrial revolution. Okay. Where man will meet machine. Okay. And all of these world leaders are meeting. Okay. So that they can all be on one accord to bring it forth. The World Economic Forum chairman Klaus Schwab announced the kickoff of the 53rd annual meeting of political leaders, corporate executives, all right, and activists in Davos, Switzerland, declaring that the summit will focus on rededicating its members to a progressive climate and social justice agenda. Okay, social justice agenda in the midst of what is described as unprecedented multiple crisis. Okay. The theme of our meeting in Davos and cooperation in a fragmented world, Claus stated, in what the WEF calls the year of polycrisis. Okay. Which everything that's wrong with the earth was created by them. Okay. Now the problem is nature itself, human beings, cattle, okay, and all natural things. So they're creating a world where everything needs to now be artificial, okay, and everything needs to be linked, okay, to this grid. And you'll see it. It says Klaus Schwab declared that economic, environmental, social, and geopolitical crises are converging and conflating, creating an extremely versatile and uncertain future. We are all stuck in a crisis mindset, he warned. And who created that crisis? But reassured attendees that the annual meeting at Davos shall try to make sure that the leaders do not remain trapped in that crisis mindset. Okay, order out of the chaos. The crisis is the chaos. They have the order, but develop a longer term constructive perspective to shape the future in more sustainable, more inclusive, one world, okay, in more resilient way. Okay. Now we'll go back to this. I want to go to this video here off of Redacted. But first, let's get a scripture. This is the book of Psalms, okay, 64:1. A psalm of David. Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life, all right, from fear of the enemy. Okay. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay. And now their secret counsel is being outed. However, we know that they're not allowing what they're really, really talking about to get out. But this is where we go to the scriptures. Okay, we know what their plan is. Okay, now let's get a precept here. Let's see here. Let's get Psalms 56:6. Let's see here. And 4, in God will I praise his word. In God have I put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. Every day they wrest my words. Okay, they're figuring out a way to come up against this truth. You know damn well they talked about the Israelites in behind closed doors and their plans for us. All their thoughts are evil for me. They gather themselves together. They hide themselves. Okay, they mark my steps, all right, when they wait for my soul. Okay, shall they escape by iniquity? Like, are you going to allow these devils to get the victory? In thine anger, cast down the people, O God. Okay, cast them down, and that's our cry. Okay, because we're living in a time where the secret counsel of the wicked, they're getting ready to what? They've brought forth this system of two horns like a lamb. Now they're getting ready to speak as a dragon. Okay, let's see here. Psalms 143:9. Deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Okay. Psalms 109:2. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened up against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. And this is what ultimately this New World Order is all about. Or they're meeting to set up a system, all right, that X's us out of the picture. All right, so I want to play this video, and then ultimately we can get some more scriptures and a few more articles and close this out. But this is off of Redacted, okay? And this dude used to be on, I believe, CNN, you know, but he left because he said he was, you know, being muzzled, you know, so he started this channel. All right, could be controlled opposition, whatever. But the Lord has allowed a spirit to be put into the earth, even on other Edomites, to bring out things that expose, all right, the elites. Because a lot of these everyday Edomites are seeing where this is going. And, you know, Esau has a rulership mentality. Okay, so it's only so long, all right, that, you know, you know, you're going to be able to just tell them to do this, do that, and say, I'm going to do this and do that. Esau is going to rebel. The main people rebelling against the, all right, that Capri Sun is E. Okay? They're the ones going to these different platforms and saying, wait a minute. See, Jake is just walking around. Jake don't know what the hell is going on. Jake just looking for the bag. Okay, but these everyday regular Edomites, you know, you know, even, you know, certain, you know, millionaires, they're starting to see where this thing is going. So they're pissed off. You see? And that's what the scriptures goes into, Egyptian against Egyptian. And that all works in our favor. So let's listen to this video. Oh, shit. Something big is happening at Davos as WEF blocks media. Yeah, the media is only allowed to go so far. All right. And if you are a part of certain media outlets, you're not even invited. You can't even come. All right. So let's listen to this.
So the World Economic Forum in Davos, and the globalists have flown in on their private jets. I mean, the amount of private jets is unbelievable. Now, they've cordoned off, according to reports, they've cordoned off about a 2-mile radius. So they know that the media is interested in this. Maybe not the mainstream media. The mainstream media would love to go there and just hobnob and rub shoulders and, you know, hang out with all of these elites.
They are doing that. They are the hosts of most of these panels.
And doing feature pieces and things like that, like the CNBCs of the world. Like, that's fine. They're not going to do any negative coverage or actual coverage, right? So they've kept away anybody else, like independent media. You're not allowed to get anywhere near this event if you are independent media, which, of course, of course is the case. So these globalists come together. This arguably could be one of the most important meetings they've ever had, because there's a number of big pieces, things on the table right now. First of all,
and the reason why it's the most important is because the kingdom of heaven is getting ready to be set up. That's why they're moving with such fervency. See, Esau ain't playing. Okay, Esau is the elite are dead serious. Things are changing in the earth, and it's only going to change more drastically. And the Lord is going to give him a little time to work his wickedness before he's taken out of the way.
A central bank digital currency, the CBDC, right, where they will control all of the money supply. They will tell you that you can't go to the store because you've already been to the store too many times. You've driven your car too many times. Your carbon footprint is too high.
Right. As they fly in on their private jets. What kind of gas are those? Electric jets? No. All right, but they're telling you, all right, you how far you can travel in the earth, and that your cars and you coughing and passing gas and eating, cattle and fish and all of this, all right, is destroying the earth, which that's what the Lord created, all right, these things for. Okay. But now, out of this crisis, okay, they're bringing in order. Okay, and the central bank digital currency is one of the things that they're discussing, because that's tied to the MOTB, changing the way you buy and sell, having power over everything. Okay, and again, if they're able to implement this, which they will be able to for a little while, okay, you're going to have what? Strong faith. Okay, because it's going to play on your flesh. Okay, because for a while, we may be able to, spend the digital currency, but after a while, things are going to get tighter as more and more laws are implemented and more things are required for you to be able to wiggle around in that system. Okay, if you're saying no, then they cut off your money. Okay, which is why it's important to have that mindset under the blood and the testimony to not love this life unto death. Seeing how polluted and evil this world is, we have nothing to look back to, okay?
They are very close to putting this in place. That's just one of the pieces that they're going to be discussing during this week.
Yes. So, the archetype of Davos man is unelected global leader who's making decisions for the society at large.
And again, nobody elected these people. Okay? The election is an illusion anyway. But these people have been set up by the Most High himself. These are the Edomites. Okay, this is Psalms 83. Okay? Their power was given unto them by the Most High. Okay? God implored to confound his enemies. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. That's what they're doing. Okay? Anything carbon based is getting ready to be attacked. All right, and they're setting up a new artificial system, even artificial foods. Okay, where everything will be tracked and limited to save the earth from all of these niggas, which everybody's a nigga, right? So the enemies are making a tumult, and they that hate thee, which all of these elites hate the Most High. They themselves want to be the Most High. Okay? And see, when it's all said and done, the Lord going to take these devils down. But guess what? They still ain't going to repent. Not Psalms, I'm tripping. Revelation 9. Revelation chapter 9 and 20. Okay? Because the elite are going to survive the destruction that's coming. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils. That's damn sure what they're doing. And idols of gold. That's damn sure what they're doing. And silver and brass and stone and of wood. Okay? Which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. See, this is what they're doing on the planet Earth: murdering, all right, sorceries, all of these drugs and these different science projects they're throwing out there. Okay, the jump shot, the Capri Sun was a sorcery. Okay, which when you look up this word sorcery, when you look up this word sorceries, what is it? Pharmakia, pharmacy, pharmaceuticals. Okay, the use of administering drugs, poisoning, sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry. Okay, deceptions and seductions of idolatry. That's ultimately what's running this NWO. That's the power behind it. Murder, sorcery, fornication, thefts, evil. This is Cain. This is Esau, Edom, man. Okay? And they hate the Most High. They hate his only begotten Son, as well as these heathen who will join unto them. Okay? And it's funny, Idris Elba was at the world. They try to make it look cool. Will I Am. They always sprinkle a little nigga there, but you know damn well them niggas ain't going past a certain point. Okay, that's just to make it look like it's something normal and cool. No harm. Idris Elba is there. Everybody loves Idris, right? Black Eye, the Will I Am of the Black Eyed Peas. He's on some level linked into it. But see, that's only showcase. The bottom line is these devils are meeting, okay, to establish the modern day Tower of Babel, okay, which Nimrod tried to establish and was what? It was broken up. Okay? As they're trying to make everybody one under this system. Cut off who the nations as the Heavenly Father created them to be, and create new people, new humanities, new world. Okay? So the enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and against thy hidden ones. This is that crafty counsel. Okay, let's look up this word crafty. Iram. Subtle. The serpent was more subtle than any of the beasts of the field. Okay? Shrewd, all right? And the way they present it as if they're trying to help you, but really they're trying to take away all of your God-given rights and any rights that they said that you had. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution is no more. Okay? You ain't going to have any rights. Okay? And when it's all said and done, the mass majority of the people are going to be on their knees begging for something, all right, to return them to normalcy, all right? And what are they going to have to do to get that? Okay, we already know. That's why they're hoarding all of the resources to themselves, because he who has all of the resources is what? God. Okay? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Meeting. Okay? Counseling. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why no cameras will ever go to the real true meetings that they're having in Davos. It won't be released to the public. But they'll allow you to get just a little bit, all right? Because, hey, the Heavenly Father has put that in their spirit. We're in the time of them being revealed. See, they don't want the name of Israel to be any more in remembrance, the true Israelites. For they have consulted together with one consent. One consent. Okay, one world order. That's why all of these leaders are coming together. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Hagarenes, all of these nations. Okay? All of these nations, man. Verse 16, fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Okay? Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou whose name is Yahweh art the most high over the earth. Okay, and it says Jehovah. We know that the J is modern. Okay, so when you go into the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash, Yahweh, that's his name. And they're going to know when it's all said and done that the true power of this world, this universe, is the Most High God, Yahweh, through his son, Yahweh Shai, which they're trying to undermine through these plans.
Without having the backing or the choice of the people, right?
Yeah, the people didn't elect them to discuss their future. They put themselves in that position, but ultimately the Lord put them in that position because Isaac blessed Esau. Okay, showing you the Most High is fair. You've had your rulership.
So these are things that powerful people are choosing for us that we may not choose if we were given the opportunity to vote for them or put them in power. So the program overview for this year's Davos, I spent the afternoon looking through it and thinking, well, what are they really talking about? I admit I'm going to go through this with a little bit of cynicism, but I feel like the last couple of years gives me license to do that. So let's just kind of put on our cynical hats. And if you feel less cynical than me when I present these and you think, well, that's probably benevolent, that's okay. You're free to say that too. But let's just see, okay? Let's see. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. And by the way, yes, Rebel News is there trying to get in. I don't know if they've, I'll check in with them to see what they've been able to get there. But, they're certainly rabble rousers. And so I can't imagine that they're going to be able to get up close and get access. They're going to try to get attendance on their way in and out if they can get access. It'll be interesting to see how their credentials work to get into this area. But anyway, go ahead. Let's dive into these forums.
Okay, so let's just look at the program overview. They say, this is a critical Davos because the world is at a critical inflection point. The twin triggers, they're calling it, of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine rattled an already brittle global system. Economic growth in the world's largest economies is stalling while navigating headwinds from rising food and energy crisis. Now, my issue with this statement is that it implies that these things are just happening to us, as if no humans made decisions about these things happening. Even if COVID is a naturally occurring virus, the global response was, I think we can agree, disproportionate and run by the attendees of this conference.
See? Yeah. Again, they're the ones who destroyed the earth. Let's get that in the book of Revelation, man. These devils got some nerves. They're gonna bring order to the chaos they've created. Revelation 11:18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged. Okay, and the Esau, Edom, the heathen, and 2/3 are the dead. They're doing the works of death. All right, the elect are bringing forth the works of life. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. There you go. Destroy them which destroy the earth. You all have destroyed the earth. Now you're accusing nature as the problem, okay, to the hell you've created. Okay, you've put all of these toxins in the food and the air and the atmosphere and destroyed every goddamn thing. We can go on and on and on with your evil.
Largely, that's putting it nicely. That's giving them the benefit of the doubt. The climate in Ukraine, well, we're going to talk about how they talk about this one, as if none of them have any responsibility at all there.
They're responsible for everything. Okay? Who put the earth in this direction? The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. And what happened with that whole CVID thing, that Crown Royale, okay, was ultimately they used that as a means to start implementing their NWO, to put these policies in place, to establish digital ID, to transfer wealth to take away the middle class, and so it's just be rich and poor. That's what they've been doing.
So let's go over what they think. Now, there are plenty of climate conferences, business decisions with climate in mind, nuclear energy, all kinds of, energy companies talking about this. They're not calling this a new world order, but I identified what I might think is a new term for this. Tell me if you think rebranding of new world order. Deglobalization or reglobalization?
That's their panel name, deglobalization or reglobalization.
Like, has globalization broken down to the point where we can no longer, count on ketchup bottles or beer or whatever in the grocery store? Or is this just a re-globalization? Like, the New World Order, basically, right? Is that what you read into that?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Interesting. And look at these panelists are...
Ian Bremmer, of course.
Alex Jones, a huge apology.
Who does?
Yeah.
Me?
We all.
Yeah. And how do you re-globalize the world? Well, information control is obviously very important. So just like last year, there are a ton of panels on disinformation and misinformation, like this one here. Clear and present danger of misinformation. Public speakers by the New York Times. Yes, I really want to know what they think about misinformation.
Yeah, we know the New York Times is bought and paid for. All right. These particular news outlets that are bought and paid for by the elite, were set up to control the narrative. Okay, so of course, what they speak to as misinformation, all right, you have to ask yourself, what would Satan call misinformation? Okay, anything good. All right, and there's, let's see if I have a few. This is what I'm looking for right here. Yep. Top EU bureaucrat predicts hate speech laws coming to the U.S. So hate speech, okay, is getting ready to, become, and you saw the propaganda be put in place, okay, all throughout 2022 and the years before that. The propaganda was put in place, all right, to establish hate speech and victimize the small hats. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites were brought up. Okay, and all, the particular, online radicals and all of these various different things. We saw all of that. Okay, 2023 is the year where they're going to put plans in motion to actually stop and attack these things. That's why the scriptures say the devil has come down unto you having great wrath. Okay, top European Union bureaucrat on Tuesday predicted that laws prohibiting so-called hate speech which have already been implemented across Europe, will soon be imposed in the United States. Okay, illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the U.S. I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. All right. Vera Jourova, Vice President for Values and Transparency at the European Commission, said at the World Economic Forum. The European Commission, an executive arm of the EU. Okay? Let's listen.
Well, we need the people who understand the language and the case law in the country. Because what qualifies as hate speech, as illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the US, I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. We need the platforms to simply work with the language and to identify such cases. The AI would be too dangerous.
Okay. Yep. And artificial intelligence is going to help them. Illegal hate speech, which, again, when you go into prophecy, when you go into the scriptures, Revelation 13, all right, and 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the two horns like a lamb, were those two political systems which gave you a voice, which gave you a savior, okay, something to vote for, okay, an opinion against, all right, the other. So you have the left-right paradigm, which has led people down this path to where now, okay, their rights are getting ready to be taken from them, okay, out of the chaos, okay. And he spake as a dragon, which is draconian laws. We always go into that. Let's look up something real quick. What is the left-right political spectrum? Let's see if we can find something. Okay, so it says, what is the difference between leftists and rightists? We always hear this, right? It says the difference between leftists and rightists. Generally, the left wing is characterized by an emphasis on ideas such as freedom, all right, equality, fraternity, rights, progressive reform, and internationalism. Okay, so everybody has a freedom to do and be what they want. Okay, rights. Okay, to, as you can see, the Dems are big on, you know, the deleting of babies. Okay, the 187s as we call them. You know, which they were, you know, it had women screaming and growling about. Okay, you have the alphabet community. Okay, everybody's free and have their civil liberties spoken for in a voice. Okay, whereas you have, it says also reform internationalism, you know, basically a globalist agenda, which you can see being done through as the elites are using Joe Biden. Okay, you can clearly see all of the democracy. Okay, the leftists, where what the people want, all right, dictate the policies that, all right, the issues in amongst the people, all right, they're able to create, all right, order out of chaos, okay, and dictate policies and laws based upon the manipulation of people's minds and making them to believe that these things are something that they should cry for, fight for. Like, with all of the hell going on in the earth, okay, how is the alphabet community at the forefront of what needs to be liberated? Okay, you can see that with the leftist agenda, and boy, do they have a voice, right? And then you have the right-wing agenda, which is characterized by an emphasis on notions such as authority. All right, theirs is predicated upon, all right, a republic. This is the law. This is what you follow. You follow these laws, you're good. If you don't, boom, we're going to have issues. A hierarchy, okay? Rulers, order, duty, okay? And this is your duty within our order. Tradition, family, values, you know, man, woman, okay? And you see the Republicans speak to that, all right, which Fox News would be an example of a right wing. All right, CNN will be the left. Okay, tradition, reaction, and nationalism, meaning, all right, you want things to be good for your own. Okay, to hell with everybody else. To hell with the globalist agenda. All right, we need a nationalist agenda to where our nation will be all right. Okay. And you can see how particular mindsets of the right wing, okay, can be linked to us in this truth, okay? And we're speaking out against a lot of the things that the left are establishing, all right? But even outside of this truth, all right, these two ideologies are clashing in the planet Earth, okay? Which, let's go back to Revelation 13. All right, that's the two horns like a lamb in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot more to tie to it, but that has caused what? All kind of back and forth, okay? And now, okay, they're able to use particular talking points of the right, and now they're tying, you know, these different groups and the Israelites to it as well. You know, Kanye and Kyrie were used for that. You know, speaking out against the small hats, all of that. So now we need to create an order. There's too much misinformation out here. There's too many people saying things that are against, all right, what we're doing. We need to bring order to this. And that order is going to be through what? Calling things hate speech. Let's get Isaiah 59. So they're gonna regulate online hate speech, all right, and what people say harder. They're gonna turn it up, and pretty soon it will be illegal to do what we're doing. Okay, hate speech will be illegal. You'll be punishable by being detained if you say certain things. Isaiah 59 and 14, and judgment is turned away backwards, and justice standeth afar off. Okay, and that's one of the talking points of this meeting, right? Justice and truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Okay, this is where we are. True justice ain't entering into the streets. Truth is falling in the streets. You can't speak the truth. Okay, if you so as much think that there's only two sexes, are you a problem in the earth? Okay, if you believe that there is a God, you're crazy. See? If you don't think that a child should be, forced or privy to all of this over sexualization and all of this trash, then you're the problem. So that's the left against the right. So they've used those two paradigms, in a sense, to bring forth all of these issues. And now the people are fighting that the other doesn't have free speech. So what are they going to do? They're going to implement laws to justify, okay, order out of chaos. Truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Okay, so the Lord is definitely looking down, okay, because all of the policies and all of the things that they're implementing are going to be against people who think and speak like us. Okay, therefore, okay, since we can't deliver ourselves and no man could save us, the Lord is going to send his only begotten son. Okay, the intercessor, Hamashiach Yahushua, to plead our cause, man. Okay, and what is he going to do? He's going to repay. He's going to bring vengeance. He's going to bring justice. Okay, he's going to establish truth. Okay, but in the earth, they're going to make truth illegal. Okay, so there you go. Hate speech laws. Okay, in December, a New York law called the Social Media Hate Speech Accountability Act went into effect, mandating that any social media site that operates in the states must establish a public channel for users to report so-called hate speech. Okay, so things are getting ready to tighten up. And vocab's going to be reporting the hell out of videos. The legislation also obliges the platform owners to respond directly to anyone who uses it, with the penalty of up to $1,000 fines if they refuse. So again, they're speaking as a dragon, all right? And then it's going to be jailed, and then it's going to be eventually death, okay, as it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, okay? And more false flags are coming, okay? So, all right, then you see Elon Musk, which he's a part of the whole plan as well. Okay, people thought he was some sort of a hero, but it comes out he's a part of the whole damn beast system as well. Okay, they give you these particular people who are supposed to be in opposition to the agenda. Anyway, don't want to speak too much on that, but we can clearly see that one of the things that they're discussing, the beast, okay, which they had a voice, the EU, part of the beast system, they had a voice here at this agenda, this Davos thing, okay?
U.S. House of Foreign Affairs Congressman Seth Moulton. Interesting, so many American companies and U.S. participants on this panel. I wonder if they will address the fact that the U.S. exports disinformation. In fact, we know that from the Gattaca report that came out at the end of last summer. We know that Central Command was perpetuating disinformation campaigns in Arab-speaking countries. And what if you don't want to participate in the type of information that they want you to, and you may be more disinformation leaning, maybe you're guilty of wrongthink. Well, this panel gives me a clue to what they might do if they think that you are involved in disinformation. Notice here, go ahead and put it up on the screen, calling disrupting distrust. Does anything jump out at you? One panelist jumped out at me as extremely upsetting because why, I ask you?
Sarah Goss.
Why would MasterCard be participating in a panel about disinformation? Why should our money and our banking system be connected to disinformation? Well, we don't have to guess because we lived through the year 2022. We saw it happen in Canada to truckers who had their bank accounts seized for protesting vaccine mandates. We saw PayPal change policies to say that they can now fine you from disinformation. So I don't like that at all. A banking company getting on board with a disinformation panel. And what if Go ahead.
I was going to say that sets it up for what they've been talking about. Like if you commit a crime or if you owe on your taxes, that they can just go right into your account and either like pause it, freeze it, and make it so you can do nothing. You cannot exist in society without your money unless you've paid the fees that you owe the government.
See, and imagine that type of system. See, that's why John the Revelator saw this system being implemented, where they're changing how you buy and sell. All right, to assume total control. Okay, and most people are gonna be like, you know what, this takes truth out of earth. All right. As a matter of fact, let's see here. Thought I had a video. Check this out.
MasterCard and the United Nations are joining forces to monitor the carbon effect of your credit card purchases. And then you'll hit your carbon max and it'll stop working. Hey, of course it's voluntary for now. The new credit card is called Doconomy. And on the back of the card, it's going to say, I am taking responsibility for every transaction I make to help protect the planet. This is a social credit score, and it's a proof of concept. The Doconomy CO2 credit card website claims it is the largest initiative ever taken by a bank in educating its users on the impact of consumption. They say themselves they want to set a global standard for carbon calculations. That's the key. Once they have their numbers in place, then they can give every single purchase you make a score and punish you directly. This is what China does. And of course, this will only be enforced on you and me and any businesses that don't go along with their scheme. And banks are going to enforce it. MasterCard and the...
There you go. There you go. What more do we need to say? We know this is what John the Revelator saw. Okay, let's go back here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it sets up.
And that, Rebel News, I should point out, is Canadian. And so that's one of the reasons why they're there, because so many of these policies have adversely affected Canadians this past year or in 2022. By the way, I should point out Rebel News tried to get some answers from BlackRock, went to their tent, tried to get some answers, and they were kicked out. They're like, they're not allowed to go in the event. They're like on a perimeter, and they got kicked out. They're like, no, this is not an open event. You need to get out of here. So they tried to get some answers. Good for them, but they've been kicked out left and right.
Now, what if you are guilty of wrongthink, but you don't say anything online? You don't participate in what they would call disinformation. Can they still know? Maybe they can if this panel has its way. Ready for brain transparency?
Yes, I've been waiting for brain transparency.
This is a real Davos panel,
Of
you
course,
guys.
I'm sure Elon Musk would be a part of the promise of neurotechnology to improve lives and gain insight into the human brain. How that's growing.
And also, secondly, second topic in descending order, how can we uphold data and privacy and personal freedom? Like, yes, we want into your brain. We'll give you some privacy, though, and freedom.
Yeah, you can go do what you want, but you're just going to be thinking about must go get booster.
Yes.
Right. Like, something in my brain is telling me to go do this. Something.
Now, it does say it's there. Go ahead, Philip.
I just
waiting
can't
for
wait
you
until
to
they
say
advertise. I just can't wait until they advertise directly into my brain. That's what I'm excited about.
I mean, it's already.
I want advertisements.
Do you feel like it's already happening, though?
Yes,
I mean,
there were two things last week that I was like thinking to myself and said out loud to nobody and got ads for.
Yeah, there was something like you and I were like driving and talking about something. And then later that afternoon, there was this ad.
No, that doesn't count. If we're driving with our phones in the car, that absolutely no,
Okay.
right? But I'm talking about something that I thought about in my brain, and then I got, like, I said it to nobody, and nobody said it to me. Maybe subliminally it was put in my brain first, but I don't know. Brain transparency. I mean, the panel says here it's to improve lives and gain insight, right, into the brain. So I don't
hope we
know.
Yeah. They want to gain insight into the brain. Okay? Come on, man. This is what John saw. Okay? This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. I mean, how aren't you Israelites seeing this? Okay? This is it. Okay? And you just had of recent, let's see here, the bishop, all right, after years and years of denying that there was a charagma or something of a charagma was even, okay, a thing, now he's having to what? Deal with it because of the reality of what's in front of us and being questioned constantly about what we see the elite doing.
Who remembers what the mark of God is? Raise your hand. The seal of God, the mark of God. Who remembers what it is? Raise your hand.
Ezekiel 9:4.
What is the seal of God?
That's the mark of God. It's the laws.
The laws. Okay.
And the mark of God ain't the laws. We ain't saved by the law. The mark of God is technically the blood of Yahweh Shai, which exempts us. Okay? Got that wrong.
Now I'm asking you another question. It's an easy question. If the mark of God, the seal of God is the law, what is the mark of the beast?
That's sin.
Oh, very good. Thank you. I thought you were going to say something else. I thought he was going to come out with a microchip. I said, if this guy comes out with a damn microchip.
Now, he's saying that because his members are questioning him about the microchip. That's why, of late, you notice they've been talking about the beast. But check out what Nate says next.
Now, I'm going to clear that up because we went over last week about digital currency. And, you know, Esau has plan A, B, and C. They might throw a microchip out there, but that's not the mark of...
Oh, they might throw a microchip out there now. Remember, it's June, ain't no microchips. Calling us witches and false prophets. You know, prognosticators and all of this for bringing out the fact that the microchip was coming. Now, they might bring out a microchip, but they ain't got nothing to do with the mark of the beast. You see this guy, man? But the reality of it is he has to, now he can't ignore it anymore. But as we're listening to on this panel, which we can do a video on that later, okay, that's one of the talking points of this WEF, okay? Which is what? Getting more you know, intimate with the brain, all right, and the mind of humans.
I hope we get some answers from these people. And, you know, let me just say, I know I keep coming back to the independent media that's trying to get answers from this, but, like, they're getting kicked out. I think, like, True North is there. There's a couple of, but they're, like, being kept away. So their whole goal is, as these panels wrap up and people, like, walk out of these panels, they're trying to get answers from these people. And no one's taught. Like, I mean, I would love to see, like, any brave people walk up to an independent media camera and actually answer questions about this.
Are there approved media there? Like, are there some approved media that, like, okay, you can have this section and you're the only ones allowed?
Oh,
to
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. There's like hosted by, so you'll get like the Andrew Ross Sorkins and the CNBC and the Bloombergs, like they'll be there approved and get covering. But you want like actual answers from independent media, good luck. Good luck. My heart is with all of the independent media people that are trying to get answers. Good luck to all of you. We support independent media. I hope we get some good answers.
And what about transparency of movement? Now, this is something that's new to me. We just talked about brain control. Brain transparency is what it's called.
Now, how are they going to get control of the brain? All right, well, linking man with machine, the fourth industrial revolution.
Just keep that thought in your mind like that. That's what it's called, them linking into your mind to see if you are thinking correctly. Brain transparency. What about this?
They're just forcing us to be transparent with our thoughts.
Battery passports.
Yeah, you'll love this, David.
Look, this is something that's also new to me. Well, what is a battery passport? I thought maybe it would be my passport with like a battery that reminds me to go and renew it or something. No, that's not what it is. I looked up what it is. A battery passport is something that you put in your electric vehicle and it sends real-time monitoring services for your vehicle. A lifetime history and real-time monitoring service.
And David Gellis from the New York Times is one of the people there who's part of this panel.
It tracks you, basically. Now, a Tesla can already do a lot of that. It knows where you've been and it knows, what you've done. For instance, I had a friend who was using the like backup, the parking thing, and that it parked itself wrong and hit a curb, like crunched itself in pretty well. And they could run a diagnosis and say, oh yeah, you didn't park this. It was on autopilot. When
a lot of these cars have like a black box, right? I mean, a lot of these cars have now, you can see what actually happened. It's like a airplane sort of like black box in these cars.
But this is something new. They're going to track your car through your battery, basically where you go. Here's an ad I found at like batterypassports.org or something. There's a whole association about this. That
of course.
And this is the push for electric cars. Okay, of course, total control, being able to, track you, shut down your travel, limit your traveling, based on your social credit score. All right. So imagine, being a Hebrew Israelite with a system like this. All right. we'll be confined to a cell. Okay. We wouldn't have any right to move about within this beast system. This is why the Most High has to send Yahweh Shai. Again, what's that scripture? Psalms 74:11. Why withdrawest thou thy right hand? All right. Thy hand, even thy right hand. Pluck it out of thy bosom. Okay. Bring Yahweh Shai, man. Please. That's the mindset. Okay. God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Okay. And this is why we got to tap into the stories of old, understanding the power of the Most High God, Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai. Okay.
Basically. And so, as they continue to talk about the fact that we all need to upgrade to electric vehicles, well, this is another reason why it gives them access to our movement, which, arguably they already have with our phones, but more. Who's trying to say something?
You know what's sad about this? Like, the sad thing is, with all of these technologies they're talking about, because people are so lazy, they can sell these as conveniences, and people will buy into that. People would buy into, we can track you because then we can tell you, like, how much gas you need, like, so you can budget for the year. Like, they're going to be able to just sell this stuff by the conveniences of it and not give you the nefarious side of it, which is the part we should all be worried about.
Yeah, as the priest Yawan said, convenience, all right, is going to be the death of many. It's going to cause many to bow the knee.
This is exactly why we should all be worried about it, because you're right. It's the control and it's the monitoring and it's to tell you how to live your life. And once we have a central bank digital currency and they see that you traveled too much this week in your car, therefore your emissions numbers are high. Therefore, you are not allowed to go to visit your grandmother in Sacramento this weekend because you've hit your limit.
Right.
And we're not going to give you the money. We're not going to give you your monthly stipend of cash. I mean, this is where this stuff is going. We're already seeing it, by the way.
Yes.
And talk about like the fact you guys are different because you control your kids' media, but look at how this thing right here controls so many kids these days. They are glued to these things 24/7. They already control them. So think that's going to be a way to easily say, hey, now we're going to implement these things into this device that you already have that's going to make your life so much easier. You don't have to do anything. We're going to take care of you. And they're going to be like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's convenient. It's all so convenient, right?
Like the other week.
Yes, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, like, you know that, like, especially with like electric vehicles, like the push to electric vehicles, they're going to push as like a security measure, like, oh, well, we can just shut off cars, think of stopping crime by shutting off a getaway vehicle and stuff like that. And they want all this implemented, but that whole security, like global security thing is something they like to throw in there on these little, like, inching toward just total control.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Or even like the other week, last week, Clayton was complaining we didn't have steel wool, like to scrub pan. Like we could just think it, right? And it would go straight into our shopping list. We wouldn't even have to pick up the phone and type it into our shopping list. Like you could just think
Neuralink,
that I need steel wool.
Or I could blink one eye, like Costanza with grapefruit in my eye, just like blink. And I'm like, yeah, one blink gives me steel wool and,
Okay, let's move on.
These people are crazy. Anyway, I skipped the part that was talking about, with the, next DMIC, they're going to issue forth more Capri Suns, more sauce, in a shorter amount of time, being prepared to issue them forth. So, in the future, it's going to be more, all right, more decrees for you, all right, to drink the Capri Sun, all right, to taste that serpent sauce, and we know the decrees that are going to move forward after that, as we're living in a technocracy. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me real quick just look up. All right, what is a technocracy? Give me 1 second here. Okay, it says technocracy is a form of government where people with immense knowledge in science and or technical expert in an area are elected to public office. The decision makers are known as technocrats. Okay, so they can make decisions based upon science and technology. Okay, that's basically what a technocracy is. That's the government. Okay, let's go back here.
Question.
I have a question. We have a lot of corporate and government representation there. Where's the people's representation in this? Like, where is our voice in this whole scenario? Like,
the New York Times is there.
It looks like they're...
There are a few elected leaders.
That's the people's paper. The paper of record is there. The New York Times is there. So,
when you say elected leaders, you mean bought leaders that are there. Like, I'm talking about actual representation first, people that are actually going to counter any narrative that might be there. Is there a counter narrative to any of this allowed on stage?
Isn't the whole point that they're there to save us? That we are idiots. We don't know what we want.
Yes.
We don't know what we need. They
so
do.
You don't invite
so why would
the
we
people.
be represented?
Touché.
You're the proletariat, exactly. So they're there to save us.
Yeah.
They know what's best for us.
Yeah.
So just shut up and go along with it.
Okay, and that is, when you see like how it's all part of one standard group thing. Climate change, tracking people, tracking their money, central bank, and oh yes, warmongering. That is made clear by this panel. Ukraine's peace formula, which sounds great. This comes from the head of the president of Ukraine's office, from Andriy Yermak. Now, it's interesting that they are starting to use this word peace. Zelensky continues to use it, and he started to use it when he spoke to the U.S. Congress last month. But what he means by peace, he was very clear about. So every time we start to hear them talking about peace, we need to be really clear on what they're actually saying. So
let's get the scriptures. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay? For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. All right? So we're this is that moment right here. We're hearing them say peace and safety. Okay? That's what this whole meeting, this forum is all about, to bring peace and safety into the earth. As the scriptures say, when they're about to fill their belly, when they're about to accomplish, what they've, they're overthrowing. Okay, they put it on the back of the dollar bill. All right, nuit conceptus, novos order seclorum. I forget how it's worded, but the gods have granted them the right to bring forth their new world, okay? And they've openly told you what it's all about, okay? But it's predicated upon saving humanity, saving the earth, peace and safety, okay? And you damn right when you hear these people talking about safety and peace, okay, or peace and safety. They're coming from a whole another frequency, a whole other place. Remember, this is the seed of Satan and those who are joined unto them at work. And excuse me, I've been catching hell. I've recently had to go back around, the juiced, the people who drunk that Capri Sun, and boy, oh boy, for the past 2 months, it's just been hell and afflictions, man. All right, but hey, we still got to do what we got to do and bring this word out. All right, but clearly, something's going on in that field. You get around these people, and basically Esau's weaponized humanity against each other. Okay, and if you're witnessing, feeling weird when you're around people who drink the Capri Sun. Okay, look at my the news and prophecy that I had to load to Odyssey the other day. Okay, and you better get on those Odyssey pages and brothers' pages outside of this YouTube, because pretty soon these videos ain't gonna be legal to load here. Okay, we're gonna be getting fines sent to our mail. All right, they're gonna be taking all of our money out of our accounts. We just gonna have to lean on the Lord, but look at that video, because there's something to that. All right, these people are, spreading, Capri Sun juice onto the people who didn't drink it. All right, so we need the Lord. Okay, we need the Lord big time, man. I'm feeling that shit.
Listen to him tell us when he told Congress.
Russia could stop its aggression, really, if it wanted to, but you can speed up our victory. I know it. And it will prove to any potential aggressor that no one can succeed in breaking national borders, no one committing atrocities and reigning over people against their will. It would be naive to wait for steps towards peace from Russia, which enjoys being a terrorist state. Russians are still poisoned by the Kremlin. The restoration of international legal order is our joint task. We need peace. Yes, Ukraine has already offered proposals, which I just discussed with President Biden, our peace formula, 10 points which should and must be implemented for our joint security, guaranteed
Okay, so that's not peace. That's security. That's saying he wants to join NATO and Western forces to secure. That means we will have peace by beefing up the guns inside of our borders.
And joining EU and joining NATO.
Right.
Exactly.
He wants.
So basically, World War III is coming. Okay? And they're going to use that whole Ukraine thing to justify these shortages, as if Ukraine is the only place certain goods come from.
Peace with guns.
Peace with
Peace
guns.
with weapons.
Right.
That is not peace. That is not a plan for peace. That's not, in fact, a plan for peace would be showing up to peace talks. But Zelensky passed a law last year making it illegal for him or any Ukrainian leader to even attend peace talks.
No, this is the beauty of language, right? This is what politicians have known for about 20, 25 years now, at least in Washington, have written the rule book on language. When you name something, right, when you call it the Clean Air Act, even though it's the opposite of the Clean Air
Right.
Act, then you take ownership of that language, right? So you take ownership of peace. Now Zelensky is talking peace, 10-point peace plan, which is not a peace plan at all, but now they own that language. Right?
Yes. And so people who might, find him inspiring and say, see, he really wants peace for his people. But what he's asking for is money and guns and to join Western forces. I feel like that's an abuse of the word peace. Now, meanwhile, what do the globalists want to do about Russia? Well, they have a panel mapping Russia's trajectories with no Russians on the panel at all. In fact, they want to discourage the world from doing business with Russia in any way. And they're doing so with lies. Now, keep this on the screen, please. Do you see that it says in the panel discussion, Russia's economy is predicted to contract by up to 6% in 2022, even in context of record energy prices. So what are the key scenarios for Russia in its next, military, domestic, and economic posture? Well, I don't know where they get this 6% number. That is 2 times too high. The Russian central bank puts this number at 3%, that the Russian economy will contract by just 3%. Here's a news release from mid-December where the governor of the Bank of Russia, Elvira Nabiullina, at a press conference was predicting a 3% decline in GDP. Putin had put that number at 2.5. So where are we getting this 6% number at Davos, where we're just discouraging people to do business with who we think is the enemy? I'm just asking because the media keeps telling us that Russia is collapsing under sanctions and war. But take a look at the dollar to ruble. Just this year, this is the ruble to dollar, excuse me. This is over the last year.
It's up 11%.
It's up 11%.
Year. Okay.
And so, globalists can decide not to play with Russia or not. That's fine, but they shouldn't be telling us lies about it, about the fact that it's because the economy is shrinking when that may or may not be true. This is not a true mapping of Russia. It's an anti-country propaganda, and it comes across as insincere if you're not going to tell the truth.
And Putin just came out with a speech saying our economy has stabilized and everything is going according to plan. Now that's, you could say, that's Russian propaganda coming from the president, but based on numbers about the economy. So, and there is support for these numbers. So this is not just like randomly making up 6% numbers at the WEF to put on a pamphlet for an agenda item. It's really, really weird.
Okay. And then finally, of course, we're going to get some interaction, maybe some sound bites with our favorite globalists. This is an all-star cast. Can you guys think who might be missing from this panel?
Well, I was going to ask about Bill Gates. I was wondering, I was like, where is Bill Gates in all of this?
He's not going to be on this United Nations address, but the World Economic Forum president will be there, and so will Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab will make a repeat appearance in a special address by Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany. So, hopefully, he'll make a mistake and tell us what he really thinks, like he has in the past, because these are just my picks, like my MVPs for most concerning panels.
I think these are good ones. So let's just recap, right? Brain transparency.
Yeah.
Control of your carbon emissions, basically tracking your movements via automobile. The Ukrainian peace plan trajectory, tracking Russia's tracking Russia's aggression trajectory. That's a panel.
Yeah, getting banking involved in misinformation campaigns.
Right,
and
the distrust.
And the whole battery thing tells you that how big of a push there's going to be for the electric cars. We already know that that's coming. Electric cars, electric stoves, like no more gas, no more gas cars.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is their plan, of course, to move towards these zero carbon emissions and destroy our energy. I mean, these guys, the people that are right now in Davos, are the ones responsible for this energy crisis. They are the ones who drove the policy that we're now seeing enacted around Russia. It came out of Davos. It came out of the World Economic Forum, these unelected leaders. So when you can't pay your energy bills, and we just did a video, I'm going to break down all of this data, the energy crisis in the United States, we're seeing for kilowatt hour is surging right now. The cost of natural gas surging across the United States, across the board. And now people are taking on additional debt. $16 trillion in debt is the American debt burden.
All right. And so, yeah, energy bills are higher. Everything's higher. Food's higher. Them eggs. Shit, it's looking bad. All right. But these things must be. All right. Also, this
Global Security Outlook Report 2023. This is a result of research in collaboration with the forum's communities and our partner Accenture, in which we've interviewed and sought input from over 300 executives globally. The most striking finding that we found is that 93% of cyber leaders and 86% of cyber business leaders believe that the geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 2 years.
And there you have one of the World Economic Forum goons coming out and putting the warning out there once again, predicting that there's going to be a catastrophic global cyber attack within the next 2 years. This puts it right up to 2025, the exact window we've been watching and timing out this whole time and getting ready for. So Klaus Schwab came out in this ominous video and told the whole world that the lights could go out, transportation going down, everything. And now here, this guy stepping up, stating what he just said. So they are big time telegraphing a huge global cyber attack that is about to happen. I hope that you were ready. I hope that you're getting prepared, or you could sit there and not and get blindsided by it. You'd have to be a fool to know that these people telegraph their moves knowing they're doing it again and not do nothing. The same ones that lock this place down cold. Are you ready? Because this is going to be the big event. I've been warning you for a decade. You better have a plan for when the lights go out.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
And that is Klaus Schwab warning the whole world of what they're about to do because they telegraph all their moves. This is going to be among one of the next big events that the world is going to see.
Yep, you can clearly see it. It talked about how there was blackness and darkness in Egypt, you know. Well, those days are coming again. All right, and before the right hand, all right, through Yahweh Shai, as the Most High says, before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Well, this devil, all right, this is basically just a left-hand priesthood, just like they had in Egypt. Okay, and they're meeting and gathering together, you know, to pretty much, hey, bring it all forward. They need all of this to justify the laws and restrictions and everything else that they're getting ready to do. So, hey, may Yahweh Bashem Yahshai be with us. I mean, I had more articles, but again, all right, this is the year of the poly crisis, okay, and they're moving forward, okay. The 2023 agenda is a departure from the 2021 summit. The theme, which was the Great R, this term has since fallen out of favor with its alters, all right, because pretty much it was getting slammed. And if you said that, they would basically strike your video and everything, man. This year, the WEF highlights, all right, the need to restore trust. See, because again, the vile person is no longer being called liberal. Okay? This is Isaiah 32 and 25. I'll read it in the NLT. It says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels will not be respected. So people are figuring them out. Okay? There's a shameful spewing. All right? Habakkuk 2 and 16, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So there you go. Shameful spewing, okay, is now on your glory. Now you're caught out there, okay, and you're trying to redo it and, you know, change wordings. But at the end of the day, we know that this is biblical prophecy. This is what John the Revelator saw, okay? This is what he saw in Revelation 13. And this is going to be the end game where he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to get that charagma, okay, to be entered into this NWO, all right, which is going to be an oath, okay? It says this year's, all right, highlights of this meeting is to restore trust, because nobody trusts them anymore, okay? And they're gonna force you to trust their ass, okay? But the elect, all right, were created not to bow the knee, right? And the Lord got these heathen, even other Edomites set up, okay, to be like a shield for us. They're going to be rebelling against all of this. But it remains to be seen whether it means strengthening ties amongst those on guest lists, or also includes the trust of the wider public, which appears to have no role or vote in the decisions made at Davos. Of course not, okay? Because ultimately the 1%, all right, make, okay, decisions for the future of the rest, all right, 99. So I'm gonna leave that there. Lord willing, we'll be back with more news and prophecy. Hopefully I'll edify it on to the next, just to give you updates on what's happening so you can understand that, look, we're in those times, man. Shalom.